So a lot of what we talk about in short-term trading, day trading, et cetera, is riding the hype, ride the momentum, ride the volume, particularly the front side of the trade, and then short the back side. Like, that's what's great about a lot of these stocks is when you have volatile stocks, which is what you need to focus on, there's opportunities buying them on the front side, riding that momentum up, and then shorting them on the back side and riding the momentum, the fear back down, okay? So remember, we're always trading, particularly swing and short-term trading, day trading. We're trading momentum, hype, fear, and greed, okay? You want to be buying when people are greedy and shorting when they're fearful, okay? That's what creates when everybody wants in, everybody is willing to pay any price. Market orders, buy, 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 buy. If we know those signs, we ride that. Now, we don't become the true believers, the Kool-Aid drinkers. We just nail and bail. And then vice versa on the short side, you've probably been stuck in some of these stocks. When the hype fades, man, everyone pulls the exit handle and it's sell, 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 sell. Now, as a short seller, you love that because you're selling too. Remember, as a short seller, you sell before you buy. You take a negative position, you sell first, you buy back later. Remember, as shorting, you're still selling and buying. You're still buying low and selling high. The order is reversed. The time is reversed. Now, that might be a little confusing, some of you, okay? Short selling, it's not complicated. It's just confusing. So check out the rest of the channel. We have a bunch of short selling videos to break that down. But the point is, it's the same thing. You're riding the fear and the momentum up. You're riding the greed. You're riding the greed up, riding that momentum when everyone wants in, everyone thinking they're getting rich, and then you're riding the fear if you're a short seller. So most of you are going to be long biased because you don't need a margin account, you're not under the PDT, you don't have to pay the fees, it's not as scary, it's not as confusing. So let's talk from the long standpoint of recognizing when the three signs of the topping action are in, like when it's time where, I'm sitting on a nice profit and I want to move on. So right off the bat, we're going to be looking for kind of the overall zeitgeist, okay? Hopefully you're familiar with that term, but that is the idea of like what is out in the in the world, in the media, in conversations. Like a great example of like the zeitgeist is I think of the first big Bitcoin run in basically would have been late 2017 when Bitcoin first broke 20,000. Okay, I actually had a trip to New York City, and I many of you may or may not know I live on my hunting land in rural Michigan, so I got about an hour and a half drive to the airport. I connect through a small airport in Grand Rapids, Michigan, into Chicago, into New York, okay? But the point I'm making is, like, I leave rural Michigan, small town, and people are, like, I fill up the gas tank. People are talking about crypto and Bitcoin, like, at the gas station, okay? I get to the airport, small airport, Grand Rapids, Michigan. People are talking Bitcoin, Ether, Tether, all of these terms, all of this stuff. I'm listening, I get in the cab, and he's got NPR on, and NPR is talking about crypto. The cab guys, it probably was a cab back then, or Uber, whatever. But he's like, "Hey, what do you do? Oh, I trade. Oh, have you heard about Bitcoin?" And it goes on, and I'll finish. But like, I get to the hotel, I'm in the lobby, I'm checking in. People behind me talking about crypto. I get in the elevator, people talking about crypto. I finally get to my room, and I'm like, "Oh my God!" It was madness, the whole trip on the plane. So that's what you look for. Like when that is happening, that's when you hold your crypto. That's when you buy your crypto. That's when you hold your stocks. So as that's happening, you're bullish, you're staying in the stock. Now, once it starts shifting, and we know that now, especially these days, we have basically a 12-hour news cycle. It's always something different. So if that hype starts fading, like say it's green energy or electric vehicles, all of a sudden you go from hearing about these things all the time to not hearing them. That's your first sign. That's like, okay, listen, what's going to push these things higher? I'm going to stock up, 20, 30, 40, 100%, 200%, and no one's talking about this anymore. Big red flag. Next is, and then probably out of all three of these, the number one is volume, okay? And what I use The number one volume-based indicator I use is the 60-day moving average, okay? If you use stocks to trade, you know it's one of the primary data points. You can look at other time frames, but I like the 60-day because these stocks spike and fail quickly. I don't really care about the volume from 6 months ago or a year ago or 2 years ago. It gives me a nice snapshot. So what we're looking for is when we're buying these stocks is unusual volume relative to the 60-day average, float rotation, etc. And you'll see that day one, typically the biggest volume day. Day two, volume tends to pull back. Then we look for that day three surge. If we can get a re-breakout, then you're going to see on the third day will typically be the biggest move if you get a re-breakout. Then you're going to need more momentum to continue to push that volume higher. If the momentum isn't out there, if the zeitgeist isn't talking about it, you're going to start seeing that fading volume. And as that volume continues to fade through the day into the next day, that's your biggest indicator that the hype is over. Remember, volume is everything. It doesn't matter what the news is, doesn't matter what the press release is, doesn't matter what the zeitgeist is saying. If there's not more buyers. Remember, the best example is like concert tickets. I've the Taylor Swift analogy, okay? The reason Taylor Swift tickets sell for 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times face value is because there's only so many of them and she's only in town one night. So that volume, that number of buyers, think about it. If there was one dad that wanted one front row seat to Taylor Swift, the ticket would sell at face value. The reason it sells for 100 times or 1,000 times is there's a bunch of dads like me with a bunch of money that have daughters that are like, hey, I want to go, I'll pay whatever it takes. That's the exact same thing. And I guess if it's $1,000 or it's 10 grand, I guess that's what we're paying. But there's a bunch of dads along with me that are also willing to pay those types of prices. If there's one dad, he's buying it for face value and he's got his front row ticket. Volume. Next, you're looking for 3 different time frames of price action that are giving you that shift. We look for the 1 day, 1 year, 1 day chart. We're looking at the 15-day, 15-minute chart and the 2-day, 5-minute chart. So one more time, 1 year, 1 day, 15-day, 15-minute, 2-day, 5-minute. And what you're looking for is once that stock on the daily chart, if it can't continue to break out and it starts putting in lower highs and lower lows, as well as on all 3 time frames. So if you get a failed breakout, you don't panic yet, as long as the stock is above VWAP on the intraday chart. But then if it fails VWAP on the intraday chart, starts fading on the daily chart, and can't break out on the 15-day, 15-minute, then that's telling you that now it's a failed breakout, it's failed momentum. So you've observed the 3 things, the shift in the zeitgeist. Now everybody's not talking about it. You now see fading volume. You now see failed breakouts on 3 different time frames. If you're not pulling the eject handle, whether that be for profits or losses, like listen, this is a great thing for these big runners that you're actually profitable on. Like people don't look at these signals. They don't want to sell for small profits or intermediate profits because they want big profits. Okay, how many of you have done that? Let me know. How many of you turned a nice winner into a loser because it wasn't good enough? It's not enough. I want more. 500 isn't enough. I want 5 grand. 5 grand isn't enough. I want 50 grand. And you ignored the fact that the hype is fading, the volume is fading, and the price action is fading. You can want whatever you want. I want $5 million right now, okay? But if all those 3 things are going against me, I'm going to end up losing money or giving back all of my profits. And these stocks move fast. That's why we trade them. But you can't overstay. And those 3 things will tell you how to not overstay. So the next question is, give me some real world examples. Show me, Tim, okay? Listen, this is a pre-recorded video. I can show you an example from today, but it's going to change tomorrow. It's going to change the next day. The great thing about the daily income trader system, and there is a link below, is live trading 6 times a day during the week, twice on the weekend. Well, obviously not live trading on the weekend, but we review the previous days, okay? But it's also still live on the weekends. So now, instead of maybe you're watching this video when it's a week old or it's a month old or 2 months old, I'm not showing you examples from today. I'm showing you examples from 2 months ago. I'm showing you examples right now, live, 8 Eastern, 10 p.m. or 10 a.m., 1 p.m., 3, 6, and 9 p.m., all through the day and on weekends. That's how you figure out how if the zeitgeist is fading, if the price action is fading, if the volume is fading. Live. I cannot stress that enough. You can never, again, I love these videos. I'm very proud of this YouTube channel, and I thank you for watching. And I hope you you like and you subscribe and you tell your friends. But you can never, ever, ever get more value than a live trading webinar. And nobody but us at Stocks to Trade does it 6 times a day, all through the day. Click that link, 100% free. Book your time. Would love to see you there.